Hey guys, Ben from America's Baseball Camps, just going through some video analysis work of your swing and found some things to work on that I learned at the professional level and just wanted to pass on those things to you. In regards to our stance and our setup. Setup I do like in regards to your approach. You have a good angle in your posture. Your eyes are on the baseball. I like your hands. I really like your hands to be in a nice high position. The one thing I would change on your lower body in regards to your back knee here, just goes straight down to your leg, and that back foot's kind of turned out a little bit. One thing I would do is I would tweak that a little bit and make sure instead of your foot angle to be here, I would kind of turn this in. What that's going to do is it's going to take your knee from being right there, and it's going to bring your knee into being over in this angle. So you want a little bit of line. You want that knee to go straight down to here, and have it angled towards your foot like that, compared to right now where if you take that line it goes straight down to your foot. What we need to do for your swing is I watched it a couple times, and basically what we need to do is we need to engage the lower half more and use all that power and strength that you have and really engage it to drive the baseball better. I think we can get a lot more power out of your swing than what you're doing, and I think it's going to make a big difference in regards to your swing here. So the next part of our video analysis work is we focus on land foot. As I go get myself loaded up to swing here, one thing I do notice right away when I take that stride is we don't have a lot of movement, we don't have a lot of load, and that's okay. But we want to make sure as I get myself loaded, you can see it's very important how on that back foot that I'm just going to be focusing on getting my knee inside of my feet. And what that is, that back knee goes straight down. So at this point of our swing, got to really make sure that foot is nice and turned in, and that's going to totally take this knee inward, because the goal is when we're hitting, we want to take the back knee and take it into the front knee. And you can see I can't really explode that back knee into the front knee because that knee is just more over my foot. So if I draw that straight line, I don't want to be able to draw that straight line down on my foot. I want to be able to have that back knee more in this area, so when I draw that line, it's going to have the weight more inside of our feet. So if I draw that line, I want it to go down to the ground and not have it go down and hit my foot. And that's a huge thing, as we need to really engage that lower half, because a lot of your swing is more your arms compared to your legs, and that's going to make a big difference in regards to that. So when I go out to do my land foot, you see that weight does transfer a little bit more forward, but it does more of a hip transfer compared to a rotation. So the biggest thing is when your front foot lands, you are done going forward with our weight. So I'm going to do the front foot's going to land, and then I'm going to put a line on your hip and on your shoulder and on your head. And what's going to happen is once front foot lands, you're done going forward, which means you can't go forward anymore with our weight. You just want to rotate into the ball now. But you can see what I would do is I would just do a hair longer stride, and you can see this front foot here is more angled this way. I would angle this foot just a hair that way to keep your front side closed a little bit more. But more importantly, we just want to stop going forward. So you can see if I keep going with this frame, you're going to see how you're going to kind of go through that in regards to when I swing. I'm just going to go forward. So again, when the front foot lands, you can't go forward anymore. So you had something you have to practice on is you got to make sure that back foot turns a little bit, and when that front foot lands, you just rotate into the ball and don't go forward, because what's happening is you go forward right here, you're going to use all upper body when I hit. So as I go forward, you can see when I make contact, I don't have a lot of legs and I don't have a lot of arms. Now obviously that was a bad pitch, but it's more of all your swings, we have a tendency to go forward once that land foot hits. So it's very important for us to work on that, to really stay back. And what you can do is you can practice your takes. You know, good hitters are good takers. So when you're standing in on a pitcher, or you're taking a pitch in a game, just make sure that you're cautious when you land, when your front foot lands, that you make sure when you go to contact that you're not going to be way up in front. You're not going to be up on that front foot. You're really going to stay back. You can see at this point of our swing, I'm going to draw a couple lines in regards to where I want you to be. At this point of our game here, you're going to see where I'm going to draw in red where some things are, and then I'm going to put in green of where I want them to be. Okay, so that's where your posture is and these are where the lines are. Now I'm going to do some lines in green of where I want you to be. So ideally in green you want your to draw a straight line from your knee all the way up in regards to your body. So which means you would need to have your head position to be back here in this green box. You want your head to be back there. And then from this point, instead of having a bent front leg, you want a firm front side, which means I want my leg to look like that, and then my back leg to be in position of kind of where it's at. But if you push that head back in line to that, and I know it's a bad pitch, but it's something to work on, of just not committing to go forward, because what happens is once your front foot lands, then you really have a tendency to work forward with our upper body, and your swing begins to fall apart there. So just something very important in regards to that, in regards to when we get ourselves set up. So you can see going into another swing here, you can see how that back foot is still not turned in correctly. You got to make sure that we have that back knee set up to where we're going to really angle ourselves here at contact to be a little bit stronger and really engage our lower half. That back side doesn't get released all the time. That back foot, if I go into the first few phrases of our swing, you can see on this foot, when that front foot lands, and I draw a line on that hip, shoulder, and head, draw lines in there, and you can see as I go forward to hit, you can see I'm going to rotate through those, and I'm going to go into contact, and I'm just going to come forward too much. We need to make sure that we stay back. The other thing on this swing too is you can see this back foot doesn't get rotated all the way. It kind of just doesn't firm. It doesn't get the hips released. So just really focus on that back foot. I can really focus on really releasing that hip. And what that's going to do is that's going to turn that back side and be where I can be on the ball and really engage my lower half more, because we really got to get your lower half compared to just you're using a lot of arms for your power, when you have so much strength and so much power in your whole body that we really got to engage it more. So I would focus on a lot of tee work, holding it at contact. I would make sure at land foot that you're not rotating more any forward. You got to make sure that backside gets rotated. You got to make sure that at finish that you check yourself out to make sure where your hands are in relation to your body. And it's just going to make some big differences in regards to your swing. The last thing I did see I wanted to review with you in regards is more of this bottom arm, and making sure that our bottom hand is not going to be too locked out. You want to make sure that you want to keep good angle in this arm right here, in this lower arm, and that's going to be really important in regards to that, going into making sure you can see it. If I freeze frame it here, that this is called casting, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that that arm doesn't get too long here too fast. So at this part of our swing, it's the bottom arm. You want to create some angle in there, and you can see right now that arm is pretty locked too early, and that's called casting. Whenever we hit, we want to be short to it and long through it, and this makes us long to it and long through it. So at this point of our swing, a good drill for you is to take just a T-ball bat or a really small bat and just create this angle in this elbow. Keep that 90-degree angle and just rest that bat on your shoulder. Take the top hand off your bat and just do soft toss one-handed. And you can hit wiffle balls, you can hit real balls, whatever you want, just with a nice light bat. Basically just rest the bat on their shoulder and take it off the shoulder and have it go right to the baseball, and that's going to make us much shorter to the ball as well. So I think you staying back, learning on the drill of staying short to the ball, and using your power, man, that's going to make a huge difference in regards to your swing. So watch this video over and over again. We appreciate you coming to camp. Look forward to seeing you again soon, and hopefully you can pick up on these tips and have a great rest of your summer.